Man, I don't know about you guys, but every time Joe Burrow starts talking this time of year, I stop and pay attention. And today, Bengals fans, we've got not one but two stories that honestly say a lot about where this team is right now. One of them takes us back into the mind of Joe Burrow and reveals something about the players who helped shape him long before he became the face of this franchise. And the other is a message that has people all across the NFL talking, not just here in Cincinnati, but nationally. And the reaction has been impossible to ignore. What makes both of these stories so interesting is that they give us a glimpse into how Burrow sees himself, how he sees this team, and maybe even how he sees the opportunity sitting right in front of the Bengals this season. You can feel it. There is a different energy around this organization right now. Expectations are high, pressure is high, and when your franchise quarterback starts sending certain signals, people notice. So stick with me because we're going to break down both stories and why they could tell us a lot about what's happening behind the scenes as this team gets ready for a huge season. And before we jump in, if you're a real member of the Who Dey Nation, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Bengals Jungle Report, and join us early. My name is Leo, the channel is still brand new, and we're trying to reach our first 500 subscribers. So if you truly believe in the future of the Bengals and want to be part of this community from the very beginning, I'd love to have you with us. Alright, let's start with the first story because I actually found this one really interesting as a Bengals fan. We spend so much time talking about Joe Burrow as the superstar quarterback he is today that sometimes we forget he was once just a football-obsessed kid growing up in Athens, Ohio, watching NFL games like the rest of us. And recently, Burrow opened up about the players he absolutely loved watching when he was younger. He said there were 4 guys who stood above everybody else. Michael Vick, Randy Moss, Reggie Bush, and Drew Brees. Burrow even said that Michael Vick and Randy Moss were the 2 jerseys he owned as a kid. And honestly, if you grew up watching football during that era, that list makes perfect sense. Michael Vick wasn't just a quarterback. He completely changed how people viewed the position. His arm strength was incredible, his speed was unbelievable. And every time he touched the football it felt like something crazy could happen. Then you had Randy Moss, one of the most dominant wide receivers the game has ever seen. Defenses knew what was coming and still couldn't stop him. The combination of size, speed, athleticism and ball skills was just ridiculous. Reggie Bush was another player who made football feel different. Before he ever entered the NFL, he was one of the most exciting college football players anybody had ever seen. Every touch felt like a potential highlight. And then there's Drew Brees. Out of all 4 names, this is probably the one Bengals fans will connect to the most when looking at Burrow's game today. Because if you think about it, Burrow's style has always been built around many of the same things that made Brees special: accuracy, timing, decision-making, pocket awareness. The ability to diagnose a defense before and after the snap. Neither guy relies on running around and creating chaos every play. Instead, they beat you with precision and control. And honestly, when you hear Burrow talk about football, you can almost see some of that Drew Brees influence. What's also encouraging is that Burrow didn't just talk about the past. He talked about the current Bengals roster as well. And his comments should get every Bengals fan excited. Burrow said he feels great because virtually all of the starters are back. He pointed out that the team doesn't have to depend on a bunch of inexperienced players stepping into major roles. Instead, the young players who emerged this year would simply be a bonus rather than a necessity. And that's a huge statement, because one of the biggest challenges in the NFL is continuity. Every year teams lose veterans, replace starters, and try to rebuild chemistry. The Bengals don't have that problem right now. Burrow believes this roster is deep. He believes the offense is in a great place. And you can tell he genuinely likes where this team stands heading into the season. Now let's get to the second story because this is the one that's getting attention all across the NFL. And honestly, Bengals fans have every reason to be fired up about it. Joe Burrow recently delivered a message that immediately exploded across both local and national media. And it wasn't because he guaranteed anything. It was because of the confidence and urgency behind what he said. Burrow compared the feeling he has about this Bengals team to the feeling he had during his legendary 2019 season at LSU. Think about that for a second. That LSU team didn't just win games, They won a national championship. Many people consider them one of the greatest college football teams ever assembled. And Burrow said he feels a similar vibe with this Bengals roster. That's not a small statement. That's not something you casually throw out there. Burrow explained that this team is loaded with players who have experienced success. Some have won. Others have earned individual recognition, but are still chasing the team accomplishments they truly want. He specifically mentioned Dexter Lawrence and Jonathan Allen. Both players bring experience, leadership, and high-level talent. Burrow said adding players like that helps everybody. It helps teammates improve, it helps coaches do their jobs, and it helps create the kind of environment where talented players push each other every single day. Listening to Burrow, you get the sense that this team understands the opportunity in front of them. And apparently national media noticed too. Ari Mirov from the 33rd team highlighted the Bengals' defensive additions and pointed to them as a major reason why Burrow seems even more locked in than usual. Then came one of the most interesting reactions. Rich Eisen watched Burrow's comments and immediately noticed something different. Eisen said he had never seen Burrow look so energized and restless before. He literally said it was the most antsy he had ever seen him. That's saying something because Burrow is usually one of the calmest players in football. Then Christopher Brockman jumped in and made an even bolder statement. He openly called for Burrow to win NFL MVP. And then he shared what he believed was the hidden meaning behind Burrow's comments. Brockman suggested that Burrow was essentially telling the football world to put all the pressure on him. And according to Brockman, that message was directed at some of the AFC's biggest quarterback stars. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence. Brockman's interpretation was that Burrow isn't afraid of expectations. He's embracing them, he's welcoming them, he's challenging them. Now, to be fair, saying Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen haven't accomplished anything would be ridiculous. Both have won NFL MVP awards. Both have been elite players. Both have carried their franchises for years. But there is one fact that nobody can ignore. Joe Burrow reached a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson, before Josh Allen, before Justin Herbert, and before Trevor Lawrence. That's reality. And I think that's part of why these comments are resonating so strongly. Burrow isn't talking like someone hoping the Bengals can compete. He's talking like someone who expects them to compete. He's talking like someone who believes this roster is ready right now. And honestly, that's exactly what Bengals fans want to hear from their franchise quarterback. When I look at both of today's stories together, I think they paint a really fascinating picture. The first story reminds us where Burrow came from and which football legends inspired him. The second story shows us where his mindset is today, confident, focused, hungry, and completely comfortable carrying expectations. The pressure is real, the AFC is loaded, the road won't be easy. But if you listen closely to what Burrow is saying, it feels like he genuinely believes this team has everything it needs to make a serious run. And I think that's why so many Bengals fans are feeling excited right now. Not because of hype, not because of off-season headlines, but because the leader of this franchise sounds like a guy who truly believes the window is wide open. We'll find out soon enough if the Bengals can turn that belief into wins, but one thing is clear. Joe Burrow isn't running from the pressure, he's running straight toward it. And honestly, Houday Nation, that's exactly the kind of mentality you want leading your football team. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which story stood out to you more? Joe Burrow revealing his football idols growing up, or his powerful message about the Bengals championship expectations? I want to hear what you think. And if you're a true Bengals fan, don't forget to subscribe to Bengals Jungle Report. We're still a brand new channel and we're pushing toward our first 500 subscribers. So if you believe in this team, believe in this community, and want to be part of building something special from day one, join us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. And as always, Houday.